theme park construction is difficult. It's complicated, it's expensive. Your return on investment could be 10 to 15 years down the road after first touch on a project.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not for the faint-hearted.
Like I said, in the olden days, you were looking at themed places.
Yes.
Now you are part of it.
We know that the US is a mature market.
Mm-hmm.
The theme park industry basically grew up here. But then you look at somewhere like the Middle East where there's just explosive growth at the moment.
There's more focus on sustainability because it is not a nice to have anymore. It is people want to see that you are sustainable and that you are thinking about the environment.
This is the Construction Insiders Podcast. I'm Jessica Bush, bringing you the newest trends and strategies in construction, essential to anyone in the industry.
Welcome to the Construction Insiders Podcast, where we go behind the scenes on the projects shaping our built environment. I'm your host, Jessica Bush, and today we're diving into one of the most exciting and rapidly evolving sectors in construction, themed entertainment. From mega theme parks to immersive brand experiences, the industry is experiencing unprecedented momentum. We're seeing traditional players expand globally, we're seeing tech giants like Netflix enter the space, and we're also seeing theme park attendance exceed pre-COVID levels. But building these experiences, these magical destinations, it comes with a lot of unique challenges, from managing complex creative visions to navigating budgets that can quickly and easily spiral out of control. Today, we're joined by Asif Parkar and Eugenie LeRoux, both with Coming Group and both heavily involved in our themed entertainment projects. So thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
For listeners that may not be too familiar with themed entertainment or haven't been following it as closely as you both do on your day-to-day, in your day-to-day worlds, can you paint a picture of what this sector looks like today and how it's evolved over the last 5 to 10 years?
Thanks, Jessica. While Disney and Universal definitely still dominate the sector and the space, over the last 10 or 15 years, we've definitely seen an increase in the number of operators, certainly from China. If you look at the latest attendance numbers, you'll see 3 or 4 companies from China, and they're making up about a third of attendances. So that's a percentage-wise something that's doubled over the last 10 or 15 years. And it's really testament to the fact that the Chinese have learned so quickly, particularly after Shanghai Disney, and also the appetite for themed entertainment in Asia. So that's definitely a trend that we've seen.
So a global trend.
Yeah, absolutely. The thirst for themed entertainment practices and experiences all over the world is increasing, but particularly so in Asia, I would say.
Okay. One thing that people that have been following the global difference is where you see kind of this taking off in terms of the conversation and where we kind of need to go from the jump right now.
Yeah, I think, look, on a global scale, there's definitely mature markets and markets that are in their infancy, and we can pick them. We know that the US is a mature market. The theme park industry basically grew up here. But then you look at somewhere like the Middle East where there's just explosive growth at the moment. It's starting with the 2020 vision that started in Dubai, and now it's the 2030 vision that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is leading with some mind-blowing projects there. So you say that's in its infancy. And then you have those markets that are sort of in between, like South Korea, which has established parks there, but they've got a couple of new ones that are being planned there. So there's room for everyone, and a lot of appetite. And it's not just about the big theme parks. There's a lot of new players as well. So some of the high-tech companies are dabbling, dipping their toes into themed entertainment somewhat.
Which we'll get to later, because Netflix has entered this space, and that's
absolutely a lot of eyes on that one,
Yes.
right? But also like the cruise line industry as well. The Royal Caribbean in particular, they've announced lots of projects, including a very large one in Mexico. So lots of space and opportunities for all comers.
Okay, so we've talked about that global landscape a little bit, but I guess going into maybe my second question here, other than the global market moving and encouraging this momentum in this space, is it also any post-pandemic kind of pent-up demand? Is it additional markets, like you said, maybe that are some mature, maybe just some expanding? What is this explosive kind of growth being what's the whole picture here, I guess?
Yeah. I've certainly seen since the numbers right now in terms of attendance are just now exceeding pre-COVID levels, as
Okay.
you mentioned. So
Yep.
that's a real boon to the industry. What are some of the things that you're seeing, Eugenie?
So absolutely, big changes, of course, is technology and introduction of AI.
Mm-hmm.
So especially with theme parks in the olden days, were more kind of looking at decorations, I would say. Now it has changed completely, where your guests become part of immersive experiences. And
that's a word that we're hearing more and more, this immersive experience and the guest
Yes.
immersive experience.
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of is the difference between that immersive experience and a themed entertainment experience? How do you define that? Does it matter when it comes to construction at the end of the day if we're calling it an immersive experience or a themed entertainment? How does that work kind of from your perspective, and does it matter for defining things?
So I think themed entertainment is really the name for the whole industry that is creating themed experiences or themed places. That is your, for instance, a theme park, museum.
That's the umbrella that it falls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas an immersive experience is kind of the goal or the outcome of themed entertainment.
Okay.
So what happens is where it is the creative team that take your storyline, make it very unique, and then using technology, basically like VR, AR, special effects and sounds, to really work with everybody's senses and to really create that feeling that you are not here, you are basically part of that environment. And what happened for the years is, like I said, in the olden days, you were looking at themed places.
Yes.
Now you are part of it. And if you participate, you actually change the whole experience where you can control the experience.
So it's a unique experience
Yes.
based on the individual's participation.
Exactly. And that is the big appeal and the big reason why everyone goes back.
Yeah. Okay.
So.
Does it matter in terms of construction? I'm thinking of, something like these luxury brands that are going into this. I'm not sure how you'd categorize a themed experience and immersive experiences. We have a lot of high-end clients that we're working with that have these more themed entertainment type of plans and visions. Does it matter from a construction perspective if we're working on a Universal project or a project with Louis Vuitton? Does it matter from the construction standpoint, I guess is?
Well, let's call it your facility or your building, that is still standard construction. And the more complicated part is really pricing or developing the themed experience, which is a creative context that needs to be developed. And that is definitely more complicated to price than buildings, which is kind of standard construction.
Standard, yeah. Okay.
And then obviously if you work with the bigger IPs that are really known, it's a different level of budget, different level of...
budgets are very different.
Everything, yeah. It is so much bigger, whereas the smaller companies still have the same elements, but it is more localized, say, for instance, family entertainment centers. And so it is the same principles that you apply, just on a smaller scale.
So the scale, I guess, is what changes it. Okay.
Yeah, but all the components are...
Components, same scale
exactly.
is what the game changer is.
And the same creative teams.
Wonderful. Okay. I'll preface this by saying, without breaking any NDAs, I know you guys have a lot of them that you've signed recently. There are quite a few major projects that have been announced recently. What kinds of projects are you guys seeing come on the horizon? What can you tell us about where this industry is heading?
Yeah, well, fortunately, there have been a lot of projects that have been announced. They're out in the press. So just to sort of reel off a few of the ones that we can share. Universal Studios, of course, is planning their next park in Bedford, England. That's going to be a huge deal. That's going to be fantastic for the UK market and the surrounding countries. Probably will have a similar impact to what Disney had when they went into China. So very interested to see how they develop that one. And then, of course, you have Disney announcing their park in Abu Dhabi. So that's going to be an incredible venture. working with Miral out there who already have delivered some experiences there. Paramount have announced a park in South Korea. Now, Paramount has wonderful IP. They've got broad IP, and the world really deserves a Paramount Park. So I really hope that one happens. Looking forward to seeing that one.
Something different.
Yeah, absolutely. Jumping back to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, there's just a lot of projects that have been planned. Six Flags is about to open. That's going to have a lot of record-breaking rides, tallest, longest, fastest, etc., etc.
Yep.
Water parks, they're doing a huge water park out there in the kingdom called Aqua Arabia. And then let's see, we spoke about the cruise lines and Royal Caribbean doing their destination resort in Mexico. And then going a little bit smaller scale, Netflix we mentioned. So they've got a couple of projects that are going to open by the end of this year. So that's really, really exciting. Meow Wolf have also announced a couple of projects. So you can see there is a real breadth to...
we could just keep you going. Yeah. We could keep you on the couch for a while going through the projects.
Exactly. But it's great for the industry. A lot of opportunities.
Yeah. You know, we talked a little bit about some of these non-traditional players that are coming in. What does that mean on the construction side of things when you have a streaming service or a retail brand, like we just mentioned, that wants to come in and create this physical experience? Are they prepared for what is to come? Because it's not their bread and butter.
That's a great question. I mean, so first of all, when new parties come to themed entertainment, I love it. Whether it's developers, whether it's suppliers.
It gets you excited.
It does. Whether it's, a new creative firm. I do. I love it because what it does, it breeds innovation. It breeds competition, and it changes the playing field, just new ideas. So I always look out for new entrants to the marketplace. Having said that, theme park construction is difficult. It's complicated. Is expensive. Your return on investment could be 10 to 15 years down the road after first touch on a project. So it's not for the faint-hearted. And there's lots of examples of projects that didn't make it. For every project that we worked on, you'll probably agree. Yeah. There's
I saw her shaking her head over there.
Yeah, and which proceeded. We've probably worked on 9 or 10 which didn't make it. In the last year alone, there've been some really big examples. Projects that haven't made it. There's a reason why only Disney and Universal have completed complete theme parks in the United States over the last few decades. American Heartland didn't make it in the last year. There's a reason why Bollywood Park, a park that did open, has now closed. It didn't make the numbers. And there's plenty of examples, which we won't mention, of other projects that still exist, but they're on some sort of life support at the moment.
Yeah.
So the key thing for success is... I guess there's two types of, let's say, developers. You'll have the developers that have no experience with themed entertainment. And that's a hard road to really get the learning down.
It's a scary first toe in the water.
It is. And it comes down to your delivery team. Do you have the right delivery team? But if you've never done this type of project, you will use what you know, which is your A&E team or your traditional project managers. But these projects start with creative. And if you've never worked on them, well, what's creative? You have to understand these things. So these are the types of things. And so in answer to your question, it's really the delivery team and being able to stitch together scope, schedule, and budget on these projects where they either make the grade or they don't.
Okay, so talking about this competitive landscape, which just makes me a little nervous. These regional mid-tier parks, a lot of pressure, financial, getting those numbers. From a construction perspective, how are these smaller players staying competitive? Are they staying competitive? Can they realistically keep pace? What are they doing if they are staying competitive?
Yeah, what are you seeing in the space?
Yeah, so you know what, they realize they deal with a totally different market. So when you look at the smaller localized themed entertainment
a regional park.
Yeah, regional parks. They will literally go out of their way to focus on what is the local market where they are located. And they will
they're just focused from the get-go on a different demographic.
Yes, and they would focus on customers that value a fun day with the family that is great value for money versus a family that will go for a whole week away to a big destination.
Say for 5 years vacation. For a week away.
So you can have clients that love the local experience because it is around the corner. It's a fun day. It's a one-day outing. And, it's nearby, so if they have season passes, they will come back and continue coming. And these companies know it. So they focus on that. And when they invest smart. So they wouldn't go and buy or build a brand new huge attraction, say what they call a Type E attraction, which is your big
Type E.
Harry Potter attraction. They will rather go and take what they have and maybe improve it by adding technology. So making a non-immersive experience an immersive experience and adding special effects and sound effects.
Keeping the foundation of what they have, but changing it for modern.
Exactly. And they will focus on stuff like being more efficient. So instead of spending money on, say, for instance, long lines where you have to pay for a lot of people to enter, you would basically just use online booking and, be smart with your money. And then when it comes to attractions, they will make sure that these attractions are appealing to all age groups so that you know that you can rely on repeat business because the whole family wants to come back.
Yep.
And they would also do things like focus on the experience. Basically, if there's an attraction that's really, really popular, instead of just letting people stand on really long lines, they will see how they can improve the flow of the lines, so to shorten the wait times. And if you shorten your wait times, obviously the guest experience is going up and people will end up spending more money in a park while they are there. So, and other things, there's more focus on sustainability because it is not a nice to have anymore. It is people want to see that you are sustainable and that you're thinking about the environment.
In their local community, that would be much more important than a guest who's traveling somewhere,
exactly.
you could assume.
And they may improve their F&B services, adding more choices and better quality food. And they will make sure that the experience are clean and it meets the expectation of the visitors. And obviously to have really good customer service, because that's basically a deal breaker if your customer service isn't good. So they focus just on things like that. And if they keep on focusing on that and advertising is focusing on a local market, they will succeed.
Interesting. Okay. We've covered a lot of ground here, and I'm going to stop us for part one. We've talked about everything from the explosive growth in the sector to how regional parks are staying competitive. Moving forward, I have a few questions for you guys on the money side of thing. Costs, budgets, all of those things that you either love or hate that conversation. But let's save that for next time, and we'll pick up really soon. Thank you both.
Check back in a few weeks as we continue our deep dive into themed entertainment with insights from Asif, Parkar, and Eugenie LeRoux. And don't forget to subscribe to the Construction Insiders podcast so you're notified as soon as new episodes go live.